done.
You want to take them?
You know that letter.
Hi, I'm Carrington, and this is what my kids eat in a day as a mom who really tries to stay away from a lot of processed foods. We started the day with a quick turnaround to make it to a swim lesson, so we had a little bit of yogurt, some dates, a milk steamer, which is a big pivotal part of every morning.
More. Good job, Peter Parker.
And while we did that, my little daughter worked on getting some yogurt off of a spoon. Definitely a mess, but gives her something to do. And since she's so young, often we are really working to just get her to try things and enjoy the foods instead of getting a huge quantity in.
Hey Google, set a 7-minute timer.
Even though we were in a rush, we did have enough time to boil some eggs, and we ended up taking them on the road, which was a bit of a mess, but if my son will eat them, I am happy to provide them. It's always nice to be able to give them a whole food that is full of protein. We are slowly working on creating tasks that my son can help me with and truly be helpful. So one of those is making my morning coffee. He will make his steamer and then help me prep my espresso.
Okay.
He usually chooses our cups for us, and it's a really fun little tradition.
Isn't it? Well, even a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, here you go.
Thank you.
After swim lessons, he finished up his steamy and we headed to the coffee shop to meet my husband for a little quick coffee where they shared a scone, and he was so kind to share with his little sister. That was completely unprompted. When we returned home, my son asked for a pickle and I was happy to oblige.
Here's another pickle for you. What do you say?
Sometimes with little kids, it ends up being that playing with our food helps us to get to a point where we're willing to eat it. So I do not try and stop him when he wants to kind of mess with it and play. And eventually he just eats it right up.
Oh, okay.
Here is another little activity that I gave my son so that he could work on helping me, and it was fun for him because he could cut up the berries and then eat them, which obviously is a great reward for finishing the task. We've done this task a few times, and he definitely is getting better at getting it done, and his slices are working better these days than when he was a bit younger. I am trying to instill early in him that we help each other and we always clean up after ourselves. So we made sure to clean up our mess from our activity/snack and moved on with our day. My daughter is 9 months old, and I find that she is in a pivotal time of development where I can kind of give her anything that I think would be good for her, and she is happy to eat it. It has been so fun to watch her eat things that many people would say are just not attainable with a young child. Fear not, though, she gets plenty of quote-unquote normal foods like this tasty bread. In full transparency, we do give my son jelly beans for going to the bathroom, so he got to enjoy his bathroom jelly bean. For lunch, we enjoyed some pre-made Korean beef and kimchi and rice that I made that day, and I was trying to see if my little daughter would eat some kimchi, so I went ahead and cut her up a piece of the radish kimchi after washing it off. I ended up giving her a piece of cabbage kimchi as well, washed off and cut up, and she loved both.
Kind of good, right?
That's not my favorite. That's not my favorite.
It was pretty good.
No.
I included the clip of my son saying that it wasn't his favorite because that is what we have discussed saying after we try a bite of food and it isn't our favorite. However, he comes back about 10 minutes later asking for kimchi, which is what he had been refusing in that shot. So I do think that it's really important to continue to introduce foods to your kids, even if it seems like they may not be so into them, because even the same day he is in one moment saying he would not like it, and the next he is taking pieces off my plate and asking for more. I am by no means an expert on eating for children. However, I have found that for my children, they tend to do really well with repetitive options when it seems like something that they may be not so fond of. We've done this with broccoli and with kimchi and several other foods that maybe aren't typically favorites of small children. We are currently trying to work through a bunch of ground beef right now as we buy a half beef at a time, so oftentimes we have quite a bit of ground beef in our freezer. Because of this, I am always looking for ways to use ground beef, and one of our favorites is Korean beef bowls. There are about 1,000 recipes for these online, and I'm sure they're all just as tasty. But ours is super simple and just has some rice vinegar, some soy sauce, and ginger, and a little bit of salt and sesame oil.
Only out there. I want this on the side. I want it. It's a little bit spicy, but oh, more tortilla. How about kimchi?
Have more.
I truly do not know what people without dogs do for cleanup because that is such a hack. I said it was everything my kids ate today, and that includes a little bit of dog food for my younger daughter. When my son woke up from his nap, he was ready for a little snack, so we made dates with peanut butter. Again, like I said earlier, I'm really trying to get him to help me with these kind of tasks so that he can be a little bit more self-sufficient and just a more autonomous individual. And so we worked on pulling those apart. It did not go super well. I think the stickiness of it made it a little bit hard for him, but we are working on that skill and soon we will be better at it. So it's always worth it. It just in the moment feels like extra work to try and teach them.
Ready?
What I want.
All right. Hold on, we can have them now.
We often have fruit available on the table or in the fridge, and we ask that he always ask before he eats something, and he is really good about asking before he takes, but we did have a apple while sitting on the table, followed by a Korean pear. If you're noticing a theme here about the Korean food, my husband went to the Korean store this week, so we definitely have quite a few options available from that department right now.
Our day today has been pretty simple when it comes to meals. Our lunch was pre-made. I made that the other day for lunches, so I haven't had to do a lot of cooking. We're gonna do chicken fried steak for dinner. I've never done it before, but the internet has made me feel like it's a pretty easy task. So we'll see. Will you pour it for me? Okay, pour it. Okay, now can you pour it into the big bowl? Whoa! That's okay. That's all right. It's okay. Pour it all in. Okay, that's enough. Steal.
Like I said, teaching littles to be helpful is often a mess and not so helpful in the moment, but I know that it is going to pay off. My daughter had some Korean pear of her own, often supplied by her older brother, so I did have to go in and make the pieces a little bit smaller, but he was working on doing the same as well. As I was watching this back, I did realize that I gave a lot of snacks today, and that showed at the end of the day when my son really didn't have any interest in eating any dinner. So even now, I am going to be much more cognizant of the snacks that I'm giving him and make sure that I'm really trying to only give him nourishing snacks and give him bigger meals so that he doesn't need to snack as much during the day. I recently read a book about including your children in things and really helping them to be helpful adults and children, and that has really inspired me to make sure that my daughter is really with me when I'm cooking as much as she is capable of sitting there and watching, and my son is helping in those moments as well.
I usually make my own tallow, but my husband brought me back some from a restaurant he went to, and he was on a business trip.
One of my nieces brought us one of those lovely talking cactus things that repeats everything, and it is a hit around here, but man is it loud. Cube steak is a cut of meat that I've really never worked with before, and most of the websites online did say to use it for chicken fried steak, and I can totally see why. This honestly turned out really well. I was really impressed with how it turned out, and the recipe was really easy to follow. I know frying food can be a bit of a controversial topic, and it is not something I do every day, but I do feel like when something is fried in tallow in your own home and you know all the ingredients that are going into the whole mix, it's really not a terrible option, and I think I still get to call myself a crunchy mom even if I am frying my food in beef tallow. Given the complexity of the meal and the fatty content of the steak, I went ahead and did a easy side of steamed broccoli to go with it. To me, it is such an honor and a blessing to get to make so many meals from scratch and to get to serve my family in that way. However, it can be a little bit overwhelming to come up with options that are not the same thing week after week. We are very easy to please when it comes to eating leftovers. However, we are not so easy to please when it comes to eating the same things. Like on Monday you eat spaghetti or Tuesday you eat tacos. It just isn't our style. So it is always fun to come up with different recipes, but I really do have to think outside of the box of the normal casseroles and pasta dishes that I think I was more used to cooking and ate as a child. My daughter is definitely on the move these days, and she is just scooting around everywhere she can get. She's about 9 months old and has been scooting/crawling for a couple months now, but she has it way down now and she can get places real fast. So it is always fun to try and keep an eye on her while I'm doing my other stuff. Honestly, my 2-year-old son has been really helpful with this, which feels crazy that I can rely on him in any sort of way for that, but he actually does do a really good job of keeping an eye on her and making her happy and satisfied and not in a bunch of stuff she shouldn't be. As I've mentioned, girlfriend loves to eat, and she was taking this spoon from me over and over again. I was trying to get her to taste the gravy, and it was a hit, so we will be adding this to the lineup as well. Dinner was about to happen, so we plated everything up in the appropriate portions for specific children and adults, and then headed to the table to eat as a family. If you are not using kitchen scissors to cut up food for yourself or your children, you are definitely missing out. This is the best and easiest way to handle portioning out food. I hope you enjoyed what my 2-year-old and 9-month-old eat in a day, and I hope this encouraged you to create some really fun but easy meals for your family as well. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time on Simply Carrington.